Do you know that feeling of walking into a cluttered room and feeling a sense of paralysis or overwhelm? If you've ever stood in the doorway of your cluttered bedroom, kitchen, or living room and thought, I don't even know where to start, you are not alone. As a professional organizer, this is one of the most common things I hear from clients. They usually call me at the exact point when the clutter in their home feels so overwhelming that they just can't manage it on their own anymore. And what I get to witness every time is that sigh of relief when the space is decluttered. That moment when they realize they finally have their space and their clarity back. Decluttering isn't just about having a tidy home. It's about creating both mental and physical space so you can focus on what really matters in your life. And today, I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step process that will help you declutter even if you feel completely overwhelmed right now. In case you're new here, I'm Dr. Kelly Cosgrove, and I help overwhelmed people build consistent, healthy routines by combining science-backed strategies with home organization. Let's get into it. The first question everybody asks about decluttering is, where do I even begin? Here's my rule of thumb. Always start with visible areas first. Why? Because you'll get quick wins and immediate results you can see. That visible progress builds momentum and makes you feel like, okay, I'm actually doing this. Plus, if the visible areas are still cluttered, it doesn't make sense to start pulling more stuff out of drawers and cabinets to add to that clutter. You'll just end up feeling more overwhelmed. Once you've tackled the visible areas, you can move on to the hidden spaces, the drawers, cabinets, closets, in a more systematic way. But don't underestimate the power of starting small. Even decluttering one drawer, one shelf, or one corner of a room can be a huge win that gets you moving. When you're just starting out, I'm a big fan of making things as easy as possible, which is why I recommend starting with the low-hanging fruit. Here's how. You'll want to start off by grabbing a trash bag and going through the space collecting all obvious garbage. Next, grab a donation bin and gather the easy, no-brainer items, the things you know right away that you don't want or need anymore, but that might be useful for someone else. This phase is all about focusing on the easy decisions. You're not worrying about the tough emotional items yet. You're just clearing the surface level clutter and warming yourself up for bigger decisions. And once you've done this, you'll notice that the space already feels lighter and that you'll feel more confident letting stuff go moving forward. Next comes the part where you face items that require a little bit more thought. Start by creating categories of all of the stuff in the area that you're working on. Put like with like. All the mugs together, all the shoes together, all the books together. This step is so important because it helps you see duplicates and gives you an idea of the quantity of things that you have. When you see 6 nearly identical black sweaters side by side, it's suddenly much easier to say, okay, I don't think I need all of these. Once you've grouped everything, do another quick easy pass. Often, once things are sorted, more items will jump out as obvious things to let go of. Once you've finished that easy pass, start going through the remaining items in a systematic way. Use a simple decision-making process. Ask yourself, do I use this? Does this support the life I want to live? If I lost this tomorrow, would I actually replace it? If the answer is no, it's probably time to let it go. A question I get a lot when helping clients declutter is, should I try to sell my stuff? Here's my advice. Only sell items if you already have a system in place for selling used things, a good place to store items until they sell, and the item is genuinely valuable. If you do decide to sell something, list it immediately. What you want to avoid is creating a new pile of, I might sell this someday items, because in most cases, that pile just becomes clutter all over again. All right, let's talk about how to manage emotions when decluttering. Decluttering isn't just about things, it's about emotions too. Some of the biggest blockers are guilt, sentimentality, and the just-in-case mindset. Here's how to work through them. Don't keep items out of guilt. If something was a gift to you and you don't love it, remember that the purpose of the gift was fulfilled when it was given. For sentimental items, either display them where you'll truly enjoy them, keep them in a place of honor, or let them go. Holding onto boxes of sentimental things stuffed in the back of a closet doesn't actually honor those memories, and letting go of an item doesn't erase the memory or the meaning. It just clears space for your present and future. And with just-in-case items, remember, keeping your home cluttered just in case of a scenario that may never happen drains your energy every single day. And also consider the likelihood of actually knowing where you'd find this just-in-case item if you ever ended up needing it. Most times, people forget that they've been holding on to things like this, and they just go out and buy the things they need as the need arises. Next, let's talk about the scale of your decluttering project. Some people have the bandwidth to take on an entire room at once. If that's you, great. Decluttering an entire room can create an amazing sense of transformation, and you can ride that momentum into the next space. But if that feels completely overwhelming, it's totally fine to start small. Pick one area, a drawer, a nightstand, or a corner of the counter. Set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes, and use a simple method like we talked about before with designated areas to sort your items according to whether you're going to keep, donate, or trash the items. And most importantly, finish the session by moving items out of the house or at least out to your car for donation. This way, even in a short amount of time, you've made real visible progress and you've prevented clutter from lingering. Now let's talk about maintenance. Decluttering once is great, but to keep it that way, you need simple systems to maintain your space. Here are a few strategies that work. Before bringing something into your home, ask, do I really need this? And where will it go? Use containers as natural boundaries. When a bin or shelf is full, this is your signal that something needs to go before you add more. Do nightly and weekly resets. Spend a few minutes each evening and a little bit more time once a week putting things back in place. This prevents clutter from creeping back in. These small maintenance habits make a huge difference long term. So as we wrap up, here's the most important thing I want you to remember. Decluttering isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Even small, consistent steps will make a big impact over time. You don't have to wait for the perfect time or have a whole weekend free. You can start today with one drawer, one corner, one bag of trash or donations. You deserve a home that feels calm, supportive, and aligned with the life you want to live. And every small step you take towards decluttering is a step towards that life. If you're feeling motivated to make some big changes in your life, check out this next video that's all about how to harness that spark of motivation to create big change that lasts. I'll link it here on the screen and in the description below.